My 31 male, wife, 28 female, admitted that I'm a bit small for her preferences and I'm devastated. I've been married for 3 years and together for 7 total. My wife and I have a wonderful relationship and for the first half had a very active sexual relationship. However, a few years ago it came out that her ex was quite a bit larger. This obviously hurt at the time, but I kinda limped past it. Anyway, I started to pay attention to how she moaned when we used larger toys and eventually it led to us trying a penis extender. At first I found it kinda hot to think about, but it's been increasingly impacting my ability to perform in the bedroom. We had a heart-to-heart and she revealed that her ex was probably close to double my size and that yes, my length but in particular lack of girth was sometimes a problem. She also admitted that she did prefer the feeling of a bigger guy, but that of course she still loved having sex with me. I thought that the heart-to-heart would make me feel better, but now I'm in an even worse place. We barely have sex once a month now and I just can't find myself turned on when I'm with her. It's weird because I now almost have a kink for imagining her with her ex and I regularly think about that when she's not around. Of course therapy has been discussed, but I don't see the point of it if I can't get over the fact that she preferred having sex with guys before me because of something I can't change. How can I get over this? How much better does a bigger guy really feel to a woman? Has anyone had a similar experience in their relationship and how did you get over it if at all? Too long did not read. My wife admitted I was a bit small for her preferences and her ex felt better and now I can't get over it. Just as an FYI, as I'm sure people will ask, I'm about 5 inches long and 4.5 inches around. Update. My wife and I had a long conversation this morning. Thank you to those of you that shared your experiences and offered thoughtful advice. I shared what several of you suggested. I told her how I felt, how badly this was weighing on my heart and how it felt like it had eaten me alive. I shared how much she meant to me but how much this had turned into a toxic cycle where I could see our marriage falling apart because of it. I shared how I didn't blame her, as many of you pointed out I am just as much to blame as her. I shared that I am committed to our marriage and that I don't think this is insurmountable, although I realistically don't feel hopeful right now. She is the most wonderful person alive. She cried as I told her how I felt and was nothing but supportive. She told me that I had taken small things that to her were only a minor bit better and built them into something massive that they just weren't. She said she has been confused why I made this into such a big deal because to her it just wasn't. She held my hand and told me I was enough and that our most intimate sex was the best sex she ever had, and honestly I felt like my whole body melted. I still don't think I could do therapy, although I really appreciate all the resources that were shared, and I will do more research and I'm more open to it than I've ever been before. I also think that I've allowed stupid cosmopolitan articles, movie lines, and just social norms about size to totally over-exaggerate how much this mattered. My wife said that bigger felt slightly better but that intimacy felt best of all. I don't understand why I've been so hung up on this, some pun intended. I am still pretty damaged, but I feel seen and heard and like I can be the best even if I wasn't the biggest. Thank you. I've debated for months about posting about this because I was terrified of being shished and humiliated, but honestly the kindness has been overwhelming. Lastly, who TF thinks double meant 10 inches? I meant volume. But luckily for the first time in a really long time. That's not a big deal, at least for today. And #X200B. Limped past it. A+ creative writing. She knew what size you were when you got married. To make herself your exclusive sexual partner and then complain about your size is cruel. There are women who prefer a man who isn't very large. Also, just my 2 cents, but your size is great for anal sex. Maybe try that out if you haven't yet. This is average size, no? This isn't small, you're good. This is really shitty of her to dump on you. Imagine if you had told her you have a hard time performing because she's a little chubbier, has smaller tits, and a flatter ass than your ex. Not sure what to do to get over it. I imagine it's gut-wrenching and going to be a continual psychological block. Dumping her seems wild in this instance, but your sexual relationship is tarnished. Damn dude, I'm sorry, 5 inches really isn't that bad. She should have never said that to you. 27M28FBF offered to pay but then didn't. So this is my first time posting but wanted to get some thoughts as I'm feeling really frustrated right now. My partner 27M and I 28F went out to dinner before our movie tonight. We were walking back to the car before heading over, and he out of nowhere looked over to the Ulta, offered to take me there to shop as a random surprise. It seemed almost like he pulled it out of thin air but knew it would make me happy. I was surprised at first because I didn't think he was being serious, and it's not normally something that happens. I told him no as I didn't take it seriously at first, and then he replied along the lines of, "You don't want to be spoiled? Alright, well I offered, so I guess the offer's gone." I got super excited and took this as a joke. It had the playful tone behind it at least. At that point, I knew he was being serious and I thought it was a cute romantic gesture, so I said I would really like that and we walked over together. I didn't get much, a couple hair clips and press on nails which totaled about $30. When we got to the cash register, he just stood there and didn't say anything, didn't pull out his wallet. And so to not make a scene and because I felt super confused and awkward at that point, I paid for it. We walked out and I immediately asked him why he didn't cover it when he offered earlier, and he said, "Well, you said no, so I didn't." At that point I was just incredibly turned off and felt really hurt. I told him that it wasn't alright to offer to spoil someone and then just take it back, otherwise I wouldn't have gone to Ulta in the first place. There was no room for miscommunication. He knew that I agreed after I knew he was serious and was excited walking into the store. So things after that got really heated and he ended up just saying, "Fine, I'll send you the money, then you can drop it." At this point I'm trying to get across that it's not just about the money, which wasn't that much anyways, but more about the principle. He was genuinely acting like an ass, and just giving me attitude and telling me that I needed to drop it. So now not only has created an incredibly awkward situation for me, but he's diminished my feelings in the process. Ended up crying after some more back and forth. His responses were just so cold. He didn't apologize until I pointed it out, and essentially only started feeling bad when we were walking into the theater and I was wiping tears from my cheeks. Was just really blown away at all of this. I thought he wanted to do something special for me, and he just totally 180 feet it. What gives? I just don't really know what to think at this point. He's been great otherwise. But this just felt horrible and embarrassing. I'm very awkward with gift giving and always feel bad when people do it for me, but it's nice to be treated by your partner sometimes. He sounds like a manipulative ass. He did it intentionally to fuck with your feelings after you didn't react the way you wanted. He wanted a positive reaction. Instead of giving it to him, you thought he was joking. He wanted to be treated like a big man, but your response showed him that he's not generous enough for you to assume that his offer was genuine, so he punished you. Bottom line. He's an asshole and you deserve to be treated better than that. Or he thinks spoiling you is lowering himself to go shopping with you, which is an even more red flag. That was cruel on his part. It's a red flag. You deserve better. Please think this over seriously. Do you want to be with someone who would do this and be so cold to you? He's being needlessly cruel and you need to put yourself first. That is really cruel behavior. He's purposefully getting your hopes up just to crush them, and he's gaslighting you and being rude about it when you confront him. My 24M girlfriend, 22 female, cheated on me big time and I don't know should I stay or leave. It isn't long time since we had our first anniversary. She has been the best I have had in my life and I really feel that she's the best girlfriend option for the rest of my life. Around a month ago we moved together and let's say it wasn't as smooth sailing as it could have been. But anyways, it was hard mostly because of circumstances. Well, at the time she had a new male friend from her work that I said that I really didn't like the gut feeling of him. But she insisted on me not to worry, he's just a friend. I have been quite anxious about him but I trust my girlfriend, so I just held the feeling inside. This week we had already gotten everything back on the rails and relationship was great. But he was still on my mind, so I just really wanted to make sure that they're friends. One night I took her phone and read their messages. What I found was flirting. Then I woke her up and started questioning. Turns out she has cheated with him 3 times and even when all between us was good, she kept on talking to him. She had lied to me for a whole month that he's just a friend and nothing more. Even though I asked several times, and visibly showed worries. Now she says that she knew it was wrong and didn't have the guts to tell me about it. Now I don't think I need to explain more of the cheating itself. But she seems more devastated about this than me. I am hugely too. She now says that she wants to fix this and prove to me that she is worth it and made promises it will never happen again, and you know the stuff. Well, now it's almost a week since I found out and it's probably been the best week in our relationship. The thing is, can I ever forgive this and not feel bad about it, or is this definitely a situation I should run from? She still feels like the most important and best person in my life, but I don't know if this ruined everything even though this won't happen ever again. What should I do? Too long did not read. Girlfriend cheated on me big time and now regrets it and wants to fix this. Should I stay or rather be packing my stuff already? She'll get better at hiding it as time goes on. You aren't going to be able to trust her again and you know it. The past week has been good because she's love bombing you to convince you to stay, but this will wear off and she will go back to the way she normally is. Cut your losses and move on. She cheated on you. She lied to you. She is still not being truthful, because 100% she will do it again. She may be saying that she feels bad. Of course she does. You found out despite her reassuring you nothing was happening. However nice she's being now, how do you know it's really genuine? Personally, I think you should dump her. She doesn't deserve you. She cheated. If you take her back, then it will just show her that it's okay to cheat. Time to leave, buds. She was lying to you then. She is lying to you now. She's on her best behavior to con you into staying. The minute you relax your guard even a bit, she'll be cheating again. I gave my M40 wife F34 an ultimatum. My wife and I were married 6 months ago. I love her. There was a situation at a music festival we went to last June where one of her friends, an older married guy, he told me he only fucks his wife, tried to put his hand up her shorts. It was the second time I was around her friend group. I asked her what her relationship was to him. She got emotional and refused to talk. And again, it came out over time that he had given her panties, paid for her party drgs, had her on his Amazon account. Ew. I had told him that he wasn't welcome for her b-day party. She told me she was done with him. A month ago she told me that she was missing him. She told me had invited her to dinner, which she declined. It has not settled right for me. She has boundary issues and I've experienced other men she knows treating her in non-friend ways. Grabbing ass. Throwing her over the should and smacking ass, in front of me. I've brought this up every time and let her know I was not okay with this. We agreed to a monogamous relationship in the beginning. She is away for the night. We started texting and I told her I wanted to talk about this when she gets back. She said she didn't want to. I said that I wasn't satisfied with her explanation of their connection, and asked again if they had a sexual relationship. She responded that she had already told me. I asked to see their messages when she gets home. She refused. I said I don't know how I can trust her. She will only talk about this with a therapist. I don't believe that she's cheating on me, I just want to know the truth. I do love this woman, but if she will lie to me about someone she calls a friend, I can't seem to understand how I can trust her. I want to see the messages if she had a thing. I just want her to be straight with me. I gave her an ultimatum of showing me the messages or getting divorced. I can't stand the idea of her lying to me and not admitting it. Am I in the wrong? Should I have not demanded the truth? That's not normal, friend, behavior at all, and she is lying. I'm sorry, just to clarify, did you say that multiple men routinely throw her over their shoulder and smack her ass? Do we live on the same planet? When was this guy paying for her Amazon account and giving her inappropriate gifts? Does it overlap with your relationship? Get a divorce. Your wife does not respect your marriage. Sounds like she had and still has sugar daddies.